is me, Shadow, and this is me after my thoughts after watching episode 13 of Kamen Rider zetz. Man, that was man. Now, first of all, I can't believe I didn't realize, but like, I didn't realize that that Nox's morph or erasing had the power to erase Zetsu's Zetsu's capsules. That really took so that was a major brain fart. I mean, it's called erase. That should have been obvious, right? So I was like, oh my gosh. But after watching 13 and actually watch him erase his capsules, leaving him with basically nothing. Um, Now, the thing that got me after seeing that makes me wonder: is their erasure permanent? Like, are they gone forever, ever, or are they only gone for like a certain amount of time? Because it makes me wonder. Because if the, I mean, because it makes me wonder how he's going to restore the power. Because he has to get, yeah, because they have to get, he has to get those one back. I mean, he has to obviously get them back. So it real, or because he has to get his default form back, right? So I'm curious how they're going to like MacGuffin it so he gets his power back. I think it'd be really interesting. And now as for Zetz, uh, there's one thing I'm curious about as to why Baku always looking through when he finds the dream door, he's never able to open it, right? He always seeks through the peek hole in the door. And I wonder if why that is because I think now I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this, but I think I remember maybe in the early episodes where he actually that door opened and he was able to look inside it, right? He like door the mine door opened and he looked inside it. I think it was the cop or it was his door. No, it was the cop's door. I think it was the cop's door where he's actually able to look inside without looking through the peephole, right? I could be wrong. Maybe he looked at the people, but if my memory serves me right, I think that door actually opened and he looked in, which makes me surprised why he hasn't been able to do that. Uh, why does he always have to look through the peek hole? Because to me, it seems like the mind door bars him, right? So and because of that, it makes me feel like Zetsu. I mean, Zetsu has some type of like dark secret that that they're trying to keep hidden for a while. And I have a feeling that that dark secret is connected to Nox. Yeah, because after watching if you watch the episode 14 preview, I kind of get the feeling that that maybe Nox kind of like may have learned something and he kind of put something learned something and then he kind of he did something to I guess maybe restrict or make sure that the people who get the belt. Okay, you know what? I'll come back to it. It'll make more sense later. Okay, basically, so the theory about a lot of I did I went around. I talked to other people, right? And a lot of people thought when Nox said he wanted revenge, it was against the nightmares. Like he meant it against the nightmares. But I personally thought it was code, right? And after watching episode 13 so far, I think I'm right that his revenge is not going at nightmares, but code itself. Um, because at the end of the episode 13, uh, after Baku destroys the nightmare, he gets sucked into a black hole. Cool. And Nox questions, Nox kind of like chastises Zero for like, hey, you are willing to complete the mission even if it means you have to sacrifice agents to do it, right? Now Zero just said no. Well, if you see it that way, Wait, that's fine or something like that, right? And it disappears. Now, unfortunately, I could be wrong, but so far I kind of agree with Nox. At first, I was kind of with Baku, thinking that that Code could be like a really good organization, and they're just being misunderstood. But after Zero wanting to complete the mission instead of saving the girl, kind of left me with a bad aftertaste. And after watching 13, and where they were willing to sacrifice Baku, uh, to complete the mission, right? Right. Plus after he threatened Baku's sister, it kind of left a really bad uh bad kind of taste in my mouth, and it makes me think that maybe that but you know makes me think that maybe I'm right, maybe my whack theory is right, and that the real final enemy at the end, final enemy is going to be Code, and the final boss is going to be Zero, and that he's secretly manipulating everything behind the shadows. I mean, in the shadows, right? And that to be honest, after watching 13, that kind of uh that kind of grew. Now, as for Nox, uh, after watching episode 13, it's clear that Nox is not going to be a permanent villain. He's going to turn good, and uh, and it's probably going to happen at the end during episode 14 or mid 15, because I'm pretty sure the next battle with Nox is going to be the final one. Now there is some things that I'm kind of disappointed with, because I was hoping that some way the detective would be able to beat meet Nox before before Zetz beats him, right? But according to the preview, it seems like Dex is going to beat him the next episode. So I think what's going to happen is next episode they're going to fight Nox. Nox is going to lose finally. Uh, is finally going to lose. So what I'm kind of hoping is that Nox loses, but he doesn't turn good yet, because I really want before Nox turns good, I want him to meet the detective, right? Because I really feel like before he turns good, Knox and the cops, and they have to meet, and they have and their agenda. I feel like their ideologies have to match together, like face off against each other before Knox turns good. I really think that's a really important character development, which I really hope they do. They may not do it. They might, oh well, Cop can't meet Knox because he's in the dream world, blah 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 blah, and Zach beats him, and that as Knox beats him, and the turns good. Yeah, that right, and then the cops don't meet him until he's full good guy and leaves the dream world. Now there is part of me that's hoping that what happens is, yeah, Zetz gets his victory over Knox. Knox runs away, decides to leave the dream. He sees now that he has a driver, and he confirms his suspicions about Code. He doesn't need to be in the dream world anymore. So what does he do? He leaves, and then he leaves his dream world, and then returns to the real world. And then after returns to the real world, he starts I guess talking Baku from the real world, or like maybe or use nightmares or something. And then during that, I don't know, like Nox's conversation in the real world, not doctor, the partner eventually discovers it. He he goes to Nox. That's Nox. He follows the clues, leads him to Nox. He meets Nox. Nox and the partner share their different ideas. So there's a conflict. Nox and the detective fight. Not transformed, like basic, like hand to hand combat, non transformed. transformed. The cop beats Nox. The Nox then runs away because he doesn't want to hurt his partner, and he runs away. And then he goes after him, but Nox escapes. Um, Nox runs back to after losing to the cap. Nox runs back to the cop to the dream world to heal and to just make up plans in the dream world. He then fight. Then after the dream world, then fights. Then in the dream world, this is where Zetz and Nox have their final confrontation, where Nox just gets bodied, right, and then Zetz kind of like tries just pitch punch the punch in the face, wake up, boom, and then that's or whatever, and then the bad guy receives it, and then that turns him good permanently, and then Osaka turns him good permanently. Then Osaka explains everything to Baku, and then leaves the dream world again to face the cop, and then the cop and him talk, and then Baku, then the cop and Nox, they sit down, they share their heart, their feelings, and they have their character development moment, and then Nox joins the good guys. Nice. And this is another theory I'm actually kind of hoping for, which I think will be really funny and really interesting if they do it. But I want Nox to have a love line with Baku's sister. Yeah, I was actually thinking about this, and I think that'll be really funny, right? Right? Maybe it doesn't have to be like relationship. And like it doesn't have to be a like a girlfriend relationship. It can even be like just like a frenemies kind of thing. Like like whether like they whether like where they're like frenemies, right? Right. But I would love to see that because I really think that because Knox's personality and his sister's personality, them together, I think them clashing would be them bonding and clashing from time to time. I think would be really interesting, and I think that would be something I honestly would love to see, right? I think it would be interesting. Something interesting. But the thing is though, uh, for Baku, but the thing I'm really worried was how Baku's going to win that final battle, because uh, he needs something that could negate or block the erase capsule, because uh, when he punches the his default when he hit the default capsule, it was erased with the erase's power. Yeah, it was erased, and he doesn't need to hit the target because when he after punching uh, Baku to the ground, he just shot an energy wave, and whatever the energy wave hit, it erased the capsule's power. So it makes me wonder how they're going to counter the erase capsule, because I can't really see. Like maybe they could use barrier, like he shoots the capsule power, and then barrier he uses barrier to block the wave, so it hits the barrier but not the capsule, right? And then they can use that as and then they can capsule, or and then they could then you know capsule, and then they can like use that to like counter erase, because the only way I see that they can counter erase if they MacGuffin it. They have to MacGuffin it. They have to create some type of like plot armor MacGuffin. They have to create some plot armor MacGuffin, and that can counter or negate erase. Uh, for him to beat Nox, because that erase thing, like just because it seems like just getting near erase has the power to just null his capsules, and I don't know if the capsules eraser is permanent or not. So it just I don't see how he can beat Knight in his currently. Like he needs some type. So either they use something like shield to like shield his capsules, right? But what I'm worried about is like He tries to use capsule to erase the shield. The race hits the shield. Now the capsule still remains, but the shield gets erased. Right, right. So it really makes me think like how I can't imagine how Baku is is you know. Now the next episode it seems to be when after watching the preview it seems like a little bit of Baku's history is going to be revealed because at the end of the preview he says to Nox, "What did you do to me?" Right. So so it makes me think that Nox and Baku have some type or past are connected in some way. So it really makes me now. What I think happened is that Nox dis- discovered code, like maybe Nox. Maybe, I think no. What I think happens is at some point Baku was in an orphanage, right? And the orphanage was secretly run by Code, right? Was secretly run by Code, and Nox, hating Code, uh, uh, planned something or did something to the facility, and I think that plan and did something has something to do with Baku. And there's even a chance that maybe Nox doesn't even realize it. Like he didn't know who that kid was. What I think happened. This is my opinion. What I think happened is that what Nox. I think Code used the orphanage as a training ground to train agents. Right. Right. And Nox, uh, wanting realizing that Code is evil and despicable and just downright deceitful because they're pretending to be good guys. That he he planted something in that orphanage, right? And hoping that if that one of the test subjects that code is using will inherit that power and turn on them, and turn on code. So what I think is that the power was is the power that allows him to transform into zetz. I think that's what Knox gave him. I think he gave it to one of the kids, hoping that the code would never find the power. But uh, after he gave the power to the kid, and then bounced, I think at some point maybe code Phoebe found the power, built his driver compatible with the power, and then waited until Nox was old enough. Not Nox. Baku was old enough, and then appeared in his dreams, and gave him the driver. I think it's something like that. I honestly I think it's something like I honestly think it's something like something like that, and that Baku is some type of right now. I have a feeling that Baku is some type of science like government experiment. You know how like Kamen Rider Ichigo and Nigo. I think Baku's his past may be something similar to that, and it was initiated by Nox. That's my theory right now. Now after watching episode 13, and after watching the 14 preview, I actually think there's a very good chance of that. Now I don't know when Nox is going to turn good. He's obviously going to turn good. After watching 13, it's almost guaranteed that Nox is going to turn good. Since he hates Code so much. In fact, him signing with the Nightmares may be just his way to get back at Code, and he's using Nightmares to do it. But I don't know how much of what Nox says is true or not. Right? I have no idea. But what scares me is that based on based on what the cop says about Nox, Nox doesn't seem like the type to lie. So it makes me feel like that's definitely going to have some very dark secrets, very dark undertones. Even the captains, I think, may have dark zones. Zones. Those. And I'm still hoping Zero's the final. Zero, and I won't. And despite that, I'm still hoping that my prophecy is right, and Zero is the final enemy at the end. So brilliant. Because at the end, because I still feel after watching 13, the there's definitely a vibe there. Well, anyway, I think that'll be it. It's 20 episodes long, and I think 20 minutes so far, and I think that's long enough. So I'll end the video here, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if you're watching these videos, share your theories in the comments. I would definitely would if I have time. I definitely will try my best to read as many as I can because I definitely want to hear other people's theories too. I did hear both you people thinking that Knox, when he said revenge, he was referring to nightmares, but personally, I think he was referring to code. I still think it's referring to code even now. Well, anyway, we'll end the video here. I hope you guys had a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.